Today we're talking about sort colors. This problem really has nothing to do with colors. You're given an array nums that contains the elements 0, 1, and 2 in random order and frequency, meaning there can be a lot of zeros, ones, and twos. What you're tasked with doing is operating on the array in place so that you end up with all the zeros together, all the ones together, all the twos together, and specifically in the order 0, 1, 2 all together. What we're going to do is first pass over the array and count how many zeros, ones, and twos there are in the array, and then go through the array again and just write back the correct number. So in the example 1 they gave, there are two zeros, two twos, and two ones. We gather that information in our first pass, and then we go through it again, write out 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2 into the array. I don't think it's really necessary to diagram anything, so let's see what this looks like in code. We're going to have a dictionary, I'm going to call it CNTS for counts. It's going to encode how many times each element appears in the array. Now that we have the dictionary to store this information, we're just going to go through the array and count how many of each element appears. So we increment each key every time we come across that number in nums. This is our first pass, and that's it for the first pass. Pass 2 is where we take this information and write it back into the array. I'm going to have a IDX to track where we are in the array, and for KV, meaning key value, in counts.items, we know there are exactly 3 elements in counts.items. For each of these items, we want to loop through v values number of times, because that's how many times we found the key, either 0, 1, or 2 in the original array. So we basically, for each of these 3 occurrences, we need to loop through and write it into our array. So I equals 0, this will track where we are in each subloop. While I is less than v, because we need to go through v number of times for each key k, nums idx, representing again where we are in the overall array, equals that number. And in each step, we need to increment both idx and I. Going through, walking through to see how this works. After we finish writing all our zeros in the first iteration, I is reset to 0, but we still know where we are in the overall array because idx does not reset in each subloop. This is all we need to do. We don't need to return anything because we're modifying in place. So let's try submitting this. And we can see it's accepted.